Hi, good morning everybody. Welcome to the Early Bird. We're going to take a look at all of yesterday's games and the new developments coming up.
Sounds interesting.
Well, outside of the Colorado series, we've got a lot of things going on. So let's take a look. I'll get right into this. I'm more awake today, guys. I even showered today before the show, so I should be a little more alert what I'm saying. And we're going to take a look at, we'll take a look at the games, see what happened, break it down a bit, and talk about it. So let's go right into it. Here are the yesterday's scores. All right, Boston, get even in the series, 5-2. Carolina started off really good in that game, and just, I'll get into what happened there in a second. St. Louis and Mini. St. Louis tie up their series 2-2. Very impressive win by the Blues, I do say. And the next game, Tampa made a statement that the champs are not done and came out flying in that first period against the Leafs. The Leafs make a stand in the third, but too little, too late for sure. And the Kings come out and they shut out the Oilers 4-0 after two beatings in a row at the hands of the Oilers. The one game that I kind of seen coming was, believe it or not, the Kings. I expected the Kings to win yesterday. I did. I thought that would go in overtime, though. Okay, let's start with, we'll start with the East and work our way to West like we do, okay? Here's the first clip. Marchand's 5 points helped Bruins top Hurricanes in Game 4. They even the series. And the numbers, you can see were tight. The shots on goal, 26 for the Hurricanes, 28 for the Bruins. The Hurricanes had the edge in faceoffs, 54% to 46. And the power play, 0 for 5 for the Hurricanes. And this is where they basically undid themselves and undressed themselves, call it what you want. They gave the Bruins 9 power plays, 2 for 9 on the power play for the Bruins. The hits in the game, 29 for the Hurricanes, 37 for the Bruins. And the blocks, the Hurricanes had 6, the Bruins had 15. Giveaways were 6-6. The shots on goal, in the first, 10-6 Carolina. Looked really good then, it really did. And then in the second period, it was Carolina had 6, the Bruins had 13. And in the third, Carolina had 10, the Bruins had 9. And total in the game, 26-28 for the Bruins. I did say the Bruins outshot them right in a second. Here I'm saying I'm awake. So in this game, what I found did them in, okay? And really, I think Brind'Amour came apart. His coaching came apart in this game. And I'm just going to I'm going to check the game center here just to point out something. This was really, I don't know what they were thinking. Really, I just don't know what they were thinking. They went after one of the goals, and they did a coach's challenge. And, I don't know why the coaches are even doing the coach's challenge. I don't think I've seen one overturned yet. Maybe I've seen one, but it's very rare you get that call. And if you look at the replay, it was obvious it was a goal. I was very surprised Brind'Amour went after that. But anyway, look, it is what it is. And Carolina now are going to have to hold serve on home ice, or else my prediction for them to win the Stanley Cup is going to fall down the tubes quick. All right, let's go to the next game. We're going to go now to Toronto at Tampa. Here we go. Lightning race out to big lead, defeat Maple Leafs in Game 4. Shots on goal, as you see, very you would think a lot more shots in this game, but it wasn't. 25 for Toronto, 28 for Tampa. Toronto had a big edge in the faceoffs at 59% to 41. They had 1 for 3 on the power play. Tampa was 1 for 8. The hits were 40 to 32 for Toronto. The blocks were 21 to 8. In favor of the Leafs there. And look at that. Toronto had 0 giveaways in the game. Tampa Bay had 5. In the first period, the shots were 10-10. Second period, 9-4 Tampa. And in the third, 11-9 for Toronto. Toronto do make a push in this game, but it was, when you're down, by 5 goals early, forget it. Anyway, again, shots in the game, 28-25 for Tampa. Honestly, I think what happened in this game, really, in a nutshell, is Tampa's championship experience kicked in, intimidated Toronto for about half a game, and by the time Toronto even slightly woke up, the game was done, really. And the truth is, Campbell looked terrible in nets yesterday, so I don't think Toronto's done by any means in this series. Really, I don't. And I was surprised at them in the first period, what they did. I really was. I was very surprised Toronto would just go to sleep like that, and I don't know. I mean, there was even points in the game that were letting up on the hitting, and then I guess Keefe talked to them in the dressing room, and they woke up to a degree in the game after. But anyway, if you look at the 4 games, it's fair. It's 2-2. So it really is. All right, let's go out west. Here we go. First one is Mini at St. Louis. Bennington Blues defeat Wild in Game 4, even the series. And we'll look at the numbers. Shots on goal, 30-34 in favor of the Blues. The face-offs favored the Blues 57-43%. Power play 0-4 for Minnesota, 1-4 for the Blues. Very low hitting affair, 20 hits for the Wild, 21 for the Blues. 15 blocks for the Wild, 10 for the Blues. And the giveaways, 5 for the Wild and 8 for the Blues. First period, that really set the tone of the game right there, if anybody watched this game. 18-5 for St. Louis in the first, and then 13-7 for Mini in the second, and Mini outshoots them again, 12-9 in the third. So the shots in the game look pretty even if you look at it, 34-30. But honestly, they were playing catch-up all game, Minnesota, in this one. They really were. And, when I just found that when they came out flying in the first period and they kind of got out of it 1-1, yeah, it woke up Minnesota, but St. Louis looked like they weren't going to go. That's just how it looked to me. I know that they weren't up 3-0 or anything after the first, but the way St. Louis came out, it was a statement period that you're in our barn, we're tying this series up. And in the second period, even though Mini outshot them 13-7, the Blues got 2 goals, and it's this day and age, guys. You know it. Whoever scores first, unless it's poor old Florida. I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, full credit to the Blues, absolutely, for tying up this series. It's playoffs. We might see a bunch of Game 7s this year, which would be fun. All right, let's go to the final game where the Edmonton Oilers are back in LA, and Edmonton comes into this game outscoring them 14-2 in games 2 and 3. So let's see this one. Here we go. Quick makes 31 saves. Kings blank Oilers to win game 4. And you look at the shots on goal, and yes, that is how it went. 46-31 for the Kings. Smith was great in nets too, I got to say. Even though I know they scored a few on him, he was really solid in nets. He really was. And the Kings ran into the net. I counted like 5 times, and Smith didn't lose his cool. Anyway, the Kings on the faceoffs, 56%-44. Both teams flipped each other's number on 0-for-3 in the power play. The hits, 38 for the Oilers, 27 for the Kings. Blocks, Edmonton had 12, LA had 19. And the giveaways, the Oilers had 6 and the Kings had 13. And the shots, first period, Edmonton had 10. Kings came flying out with 20. The second period, Edmonton had 8, and the Kings responded once again with another big period with 14. Then in the third, the Oilers settled in, I guess, somewhat with 13. The Kings had 12. And again, 46-31 for the game. So that's where that is at as we discuss it very briefly here. The Boston, Carolina, 2-2. Boston, I'm not surprised, came back in their home ice. You can't let a team like Boston off the hook because then they're going to make life hell for you. And now Carolina's in that position. I thought Brind'Amour just lost his composure behind the bench. That's what I seen yesterday. And when you do that, the players feed off that negativity too. St. Louis came out hard in the first, weren't rewarded, and they were still determined to win that game, and they did, is what I seen in that game. The champions versus the kids, really, yesterday, Tampa versus Toronto. That's what happened there. You know, Tampa came out like the champs, and they weren't going to be denied, and they're not going to be, like, swept in their home ice. It wasn't happening. And LA, to no surprise, really, I was not surprised at all. I fully expected LA to come back and win this game. I really did, and tie up the series. I still think Edmonton's probably going to win the series, but you never know. In the playoffs, you just don't know. Crazy things happen when you start getting into game 6s and 7s. Anything can happen. So we will see in tonight's games what goes on, because are Nashville going to be the only team in this year's playoffs so far to get swept in the first round? They probably might be. It just doesn't look... I don't know how much gas they have left in the tank when they lose a close overtime, right? And then they put up a real good fight for half a game in game 3 and still don't get rewarded. So I don't know. I don't know how much gas they have left in the engine really at this point, guys. Really. They might just bow out tonight in their game. We'll see. So if you're an Avs fan, what you want is no injuries. You don't want McKinnon getting injured for the playoffs or anything like that. You want no injuries. And I would say if the Avs run away with this game, they're smart to rest their top players, really, and get the fourth line out there as much as possible. I mean, that's what I'd do as a coach. Anyway, we'll talk about those games tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. And for the rest of you Sabres faithful, I will see you at some point during the game, coming up with a few videos then. Have a great day, guys. I'm out of here. I'll see you later on. Have a good one.